Good morning, everybody. Welcome. My name is Janelle Van. I'm down here in Tampa, Florida. I hope you are all having a good morning. I am going to be spending the next hour with you talking about prospecting and RPR. Today's class is called Become a Prospecting Powerhouse. Use RPR to find your next client. I just want to thank the San Francisco Area Association for having me today. I appreciate the opportunity to present RPR to you all. Let me know in the chat, or maybe the chat's been disabled. A couple of housekeeping items. This class is being recorded. You will get a copy of the recording following the presentation. And feel free to ask questions throughout today's class. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the RPR site. I've been a real estate broker in Florida for about 30 years. And I find it to be my go-to, whether I'm getting ready to list a property or if I'm working with a buyer and they want to understand how to research property, historical data, things like that. It really is a one-stop shop for all of your real estate marketing needs, research needs, all of that good stuff. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, there's 1 hour to plan for today's presentation. And if you have any questions, don't be shy. Just feel free to reach out to our moderator, and we will go ahead and try and answer any questions that we can live. Okay, any questions at this point? I heard thought I heard a peep.
No, I think you're good to go. Again, any questions, folks, just feel free to put them in the Q&A chat, and then I will be sure to bring them to Janelle's attention or answer them myself if possible. Other than that, yeah, I think we're good to go.
All right, great. It looks like we have about 22 folks on the call, so that's pretty great. I'm so happy that you are all here. I like to begin every class. First off, I'm just going to let you know, I'm going to keep my camera on for just a few more minutes, and then I'll shut it off so we can really focus on the material. I see a question just came in about the class being recorded, and I know your association is recording today's class, so look out for that. RPR, I like to just quickly go over what it is. It is Realtors Property Resource. I recognize a few of your names on our attendee list today. I know I've worked with a few of you in the past. I know Woodry out there, he and I have connected a bit over the last year for some RPR updates and things like that. So RPR is Realtors Property Resource, and we are NAR's technology company. We are a wholly owned subsidiary of the National Association of Realtors. So what you have access to on our platform is a national database for both residential and commercial properties. It's really a one-stop shop for all of your research needs, your marketing, whether you want to do some social media marketing, you want to use some of our Canva templates, lots and lots of great marketing resources, as well as research opportunities, whether you're working with a buyer or a seller, or maybe a commercial investor. This platform is incredibly powerful for not only research for your customers, but also for yourself if you're trying to become that hyper-local market expert. So our platform was built exclusively for realtors. There's no additional charge. Everything I show you today is completely included as part of your NAR membership. And I will tell you, if you Google how to create a geographic farm list, you're going to get pages and pages of ads asking you to pay for something that you can do absolutely for free right here on the RPR site. And not only are we going to walk through the process of generating a geographic farm list, we're also going to talk about mailing labels. You have 2,000 mailing labels per month that you can create on the RPR site. And again, completely free. All you have to do is pay for the postage and the cost of the actual labels. But we're going to walk you through all of that today. There's no consumer access. Your customers are not going to be doing the research on RPR. So all of the research that I'm going to show you today is for your eyes only. And then you get to decide which data you want to share and who you want to share it with. So look at our agenda. We've got a lot to cover, and I only get you for an hour. So we're going to quickly go over a few of the highlights from the NAR 2023 Profile of Home Buyers and Sellers report. Now, every one of you has access to that report through the NAR website. But what the training team has done here at RPR is we've gone ahead and pulled out some of the key trends that directly align with our prospecting strategies, such as how long does a typical homeowner stay in their house, and what is the most popular square foot range nationwide, and even what is the most desirable property type. So I'm going to show you a few of those high-level bullet points, and we're going to take that information and we're going to tie it into our prospecting campaign. And then this is a very scenario-based class. We're going to go through 4 very common prospecting scenarios and how we can tackle those. And we're going to walk through the process of locating neighborhoods, identifying absentee owners. Why do we identify absentee owners? Because that is a great way to find potential tenants and try to convert those tenants, get them out of paying high rent and maybe into purchasing a home. We're also going to use some predictive analytics in terms of property ownership time. And I'm going to talk about our mailing labels. I'm going to show you how to generate mailing labels and then customize them. And then I'm actually going to begin our class today with a quick overview of some of the marketing materials that you have access to. I want to kind of lay that all out before we even get started so you can see, once we have figured out who we are going to market to, who is our geographic farm list, what are we going to use as part of our marketing materials? And I'm going to walk you through some of our most popular resources so you can see what they look like and how easy they are to share to social media or even complete a postcard or a direct mail campaign. Okay, so here's our 4 prospecting scenarios, and I'm going to go ahead and shut my camera off so we can just focus on the slides. Again, this class was being recorded, so all of the slides that I've included here today will be a part of that recording. So our first prospecting scenario, we are probably used to working in a very low inventory market. And what that means is you are working with a specific buyer, but you simply just cannot find them the right house that is currently listed. So we are going to take specific buyer criteria and we're going to look for an off-market match. Now, remember, in RPR, you have access to your local MLS information, you have access to your commercial information exchange data, but you also have on the same home page the ability to shift from on-market properties to the public record database and really refine the search, applying some filters and using those predictive analytics. We're going to conduct an off-market property search for a very specific buyer. And then our second prospecting scenario is pretty simple. It's an expired, withdrawn, and canceled listing search. Those are those properties that somebody has tried to sell maybe in the last 90 days or 6 months, and they were unsuccessful at getting the property sold. We're going to use that as part of our presentation and show you how easy it is to run a search for expired, withdrawn, and canceled listings. Then we're going to create a farm list using specific criteria based on the results of our profile of home buyer and sellers report. We're going to take some of that data and also apply some predictive analytics to our off-market property search and come up with a nice comprehensive farm list. And then finally, we're going to finish up with an absentee owner farm list, which I was mentioning earlier, where we're going to be looking for the property owners that own property in your area, but don't physically live in it. They get their tax bill sent to them somewhere else. So we're going to go on the assumption that somebody's occupying that property, and we're going to make a farm list specifically designed to attract tenants. So those are our top 4 prospecting scenarios. Any questions about that? Let me know. You can feel free to shoot me a question in the Q&A if there are any questions or anything specific you would like me to review. Okay, so let's begin with our quick overview of the 2023 Profile of Home Buyers and Sellers Report. This is what it looks like on your screen. If you want to access that, you just go to the NAR website. You can go ahead and download that there. But we're going to begin with sellers, and we're talking about specifically some of the key features of what sellers, what did they look like in 2023? Now, you might be wondering, why are we on the 2023? That's because the new report typically comes out for 2024 towards the 4th quarter of this year. So for right now, all we have is the data from 2023. And that data is telling us that the average age of a typical home seller is about 60. So think about that. Folks are retiring younger. If you have a friend group or sphere of influence that is in this age range, keep an eye on those folks, because that is the age when folks are typically thinking about selling. 10 years, 10, the magic number of 10. That is the number of years the typical seller will live in their home prior to selling their home. Now, I can't apply predictive analytics using an age range, but I can apply a homeownership time frame on our public records search. So let's keep that number in mind. On average, folks will stay in their house at least 10 years. And then our final sales price to list price was 100%. That is the highest since 2002. Now, I am starting to see a little bit of a dip down here where I live. We're going to look at the market in your neck of the woods and see what the list to sales price is on average in your local region. 65% found their agent through a referral, and that's why it's so important to take advantage of some of our marketing resources and stay connected with your past clients. Those are the ones that are going to help you grow your business. 87% would recommend their agent for future services, which is great news. We want to keep those referrals coming. And 89% of sellers will absolutely work with an agent. Only 7% for sale by owner. So I thought that was really a good sign. Now more than ever, they need your expertise. They need your representation. So almost 90% are still seeking out professional guidance when selling their home. Now let's take a quick look at our buyers and what the buyers said their experience was like. 32% first-time home buyers. That is up, way up. There was a time about 3 years ago where first-time home buyers didn't even stand a chance at getting into this market, but that has started to rise. They're getting creative with interest rates. So 32%, the first-time home buyers are back in the market. 35 is the age of the typical first-time home buyer. So again, think of that number. If you've got friends or you've got kids with friends, that's the magic number when buyers are diving in and making their first time home purchase. And then 87% of buyers previously owned a home. Purchased a previously owned home. So the resale market is still really, really on fire. New construction, not as much. And then this is something I just recently thought was kind of interesting in terms of the most popular property style. By far, 79% are looking for single family homes. Now, I know in your market, mostly condos and townhouse seem to be the most popular properties that I have found, but you might have a different take on that. But according to the national average, the most popular property style was single family home. And this is kind of funny. When buyers bought, they expected to stay in their home for 15 years, but we already know that on average, the sellers really only stayed in about 10 years. And then this number here, 1876, that is in fact the most popular nationwide square footage. Folks most commonly are looking for at least a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and again, single family home. So all of this data that I'm showing you here, we're going to apply to our public record search filters and really find those property owners that have owned a decent amount of time and that have this most desirable square foot range. Now, also you could go with any, if you're working in maybe the luxury home market and you're working with sellers that own more than 3,000 square feet, you can absolutely use all of the different techniques and strategies today and apply whatever numbers that you see fit. But these are in fact the most popular numbers that we have been given by NAR. Okay, so let's go in and take a look. We are going to start off on our home page. This is the home page of the RPR platform. Let me know in the Q&A, everybody already has their account set up. If there's not, I can certainly take you through that process, but I do always want to start off once you have created your account. Very easy to do that. You just want to go in, use your NAR member ID. And then once you're in the RPR site, take a few moments, go to the top right-hand corner of your screen, click on your profile, and make sure that you've got your photo. If you have your own logo, go ahead and enter that there. That way, when you are accessing the marketing resources in RPR, it's all customized with your contact information. So take 5 minutes if you haven't already done so. Make sure you've got your profile set up, email address, websites, license number. A lot of folks forget to add their license number to their cover sheet, but it's an important part of your professional business plan. So go ahead and include that license number on your reports. Okay, let's go to the top. We're going to go ahead and hit save right there. And let's go to our home screen. Now, also, I want to point out on our home screen, if you do not see the brokerage that you work for, their branding at the top left when you log in, I want you to have them reach out to me after class. If there are any brokers in the call today or on this call, please don't hesitate to reach out, and we can go ahead and pop my email address and get that brokerage branding set up, as well as the personal realtor branding. Okay, so we're looking at our homepage. Before we launch into some of those scenarios I just talked about, I'm going to take you over to my demo Facebook page, and I'm just going to kind of scroll through 4 of our most popular marketing resources. Now, first up, we have Canva templates, and I created this template this morning absolutely for free on the RPR site. I grabbed your local market trends, months of inventory, your list to sold price, the median days in RPR, and the median sold price. And I'm going to show you how to access all of this data here in just a few moments. But I can customize these templates any way I like. You can see I put the Golden Gate Bridge there. I've added my photo. You want to upload your own branding. These Canva templates have been customized and designed specifically for you and are perfectly aligned with the market trends in your area. So all you have to do is access the templates, craft them or customize them with your local data, and then you can paste them directly into your social media. Also, next up, real popular feature in RPR is our new script writing tool. And I'm going to demonstrate this for you live, but I kind of want to show you the finished product. You'll also notice that this script, not only is it very customized with all of my contact information, you can see here, I've created this script for sellers. It's got my contact name. It's got hashtags. It's got emojis. But most importantly, this entire script that I generated in RPR is directly aligned with your local market trends. So we're talking a lot about market trends today in this class, and I'm going to show you how to access those, generate those, and even create the script. And then we also have the ability to simply go ahead and run a market trend search. I ran one earlier for 94102. If anybody out there has a different zip code that they would like me to demonstrate, please don't be shy. Send that to me in the Q&A, and I'll be happy to run a search on that particular zip code. But for today, I just grabbed 94102. We can see this shareable chart took me less than a minute to create. It's got months of inventory, our list to sold price, our median days in RPR, and our median sold price. Very easy to generate this chart, and one click, share it right to social media. And then our 4th marketing resource that I want to talk about, this one is I did a couple of days ago out there in Illinois when I was doing a presentation, are the reports. Now you have access to 8 different residential reports and 3 commercial reports. All of those reports serve a different function, but 2 big things I want you to remember about the reports. 1, you can customize them with your own pages. You can add, remove pages that you don't necessarily want in your reports. And 2, once you have created the report, you can either download them, email them to your customers, or post them to social media. So think of this: if you get a brand new listing and you want to do a quick blast to social media, you can grab one of the 1-page flyers and send that off to social media. Or, like I said earlier, if you're just trying to come up with some good content to share to your social media page, reports, neighborhood reports, school reports, we've got market activity reports, all of these great reports you can generate and share. Okay, so there is reports, market trend charts, shareable, script writing tool, beautiful, makes it really easy when you're going on a listing presentation to really include this as part of the conversation. and then our shareable Canva templates. So that's a quick overview of some of the things that you have access to. Now there's a whole bunch more, but these are probably our most popular marketing materials. So let's go home and we're going to begin looking at some scenarios. I wanted to take you first to our research tab. When I click on the drop down for my research, this is where I can begin a property search, a map search, or there's my residential market trends. So pretty much the first 3 marketing materials that I just shared with you, the templates, the script writing, and the shareable charts, are directly connected to our residential market trends. So if anybody happens to have a zip code they want me to run, pop it in the Q&A. If not, I'm just going to go ahead and demo residential market trends. Click on that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and enter in the zip code I've been kind of playing around with, 94102. Okay, super easy. Let me go back to that one more time and just point out that you can also enter in a county, a city, a zip code, and even a neighborhood. Now, oftentimes, if the neighborhood doesn't have enough turnover, you will not get good stats. So we're going to just stick to the zip code level, 94102. There's our San Francisco. Now, just like that, you are seeing on your screen just an abundance of data. You'll notice a few things. Here at the bottom are the key details. Always these 4 key details are the high-level overview of what's happening in that market. So we've got 6 months of inventory. List to sold price is over 101.1%. Median days in RPR is 47. Median sold price is 690. We're sitting in a pretty balanced market. Now, a couple of years ago, we were seeing that little triangle way over here, but we're really shifting, at least from what I'm seeing, to a more balanced market. Now, there's a few other things I want to draw your attention to over in the far right of our market trend chart. This is where you can access that script writing tool. We also have our one-click share button, sends it right to social media. And I also want to point out our property type default for market trends is going to include single family homes, condos, and townhouses. Now, if we want to get rid of the condos and townhouses and just analyze single family homes, let's see what happens when I click on that. I'll apply that to all charts. And guess what happened? I don't have enough data. There's just simply not enough single family homes to generate solid market trends for that zip code. But if I go back over to the right and I just click on my condos and townhouses, I apply that to all my charts. Now I've eliminated any single family homes and I'm only looking at the market trends for condos and townhouses in the 94102 zip code. Okay, everybody with me? I went up to research, clicked the drop down arrow, went to residential market trends, typed in my zip code, and this is what I got. Now, a few more things I want to point out while we're here. If you want to send this data directly to social, click on the share button. Here's our share button right there. We can send this entire chart right on over to Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or you have the more button. Click on more and you can download it to your computer. Now, when we click on the share button, you notice, and I'm sure some of you are wondering, okay, what about Instagram? We have a fantastic mobile app designed specifically for, well, one, for research. You can search all of the same things I'm showing you today, but you've got some great shareable options from the mobile app that you don't have on the desktop. And that includes the ability to share to Instagram. So you have lots and lots of options from the mobile app. If you don't have the mobile app downloaded, I will give you guys the QR code here before we wrap up. So that's our one-click share button. Now I want to point out when I close this out, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but just as I scroll down, I have so much data that I can share with my customers. Literally, every day, if I wanted to create a new post relevant to that area, I have got all of these shareable charts. So right now, these charts update monthly, by the way. So the month of June hasn't hit yet, but we're working with May. May's numbers, our median list price for active listings is $749. 43 properties currently for sale. The median days in RPR is 53. Look at this median price per square foot. That is a lot higher than where I live at $983. So any one of these charts that you go through and look at all this data, you have the ability to share with the one-click share button. Keep in mind, this database is also going to include MLS data as well as public record data. Recently sold properties that maybe did not go through MLSs, maybe they were a by owner or it was new construction. So we do include public record sales as well. So let me just show you how easy it is to share. We'll pick a different chart. We'll go in and look at new listings. Let's take our share button, click it. It's going to bring up my new chart, and then all I have to do is decide what platform I want to share it to, and then I can send it right on its way to social media. Now, keep in mind, you can also share this as part of your story. So if you prefer to maybe do a story, you can do either way. You get to decide whether you want to post it to your news feed or share it to your story. So I like to show that because when we're talking about prospecting, it's fantastic to create our geographic farm list, but I also want to talk to you guys about how easy it is to access all of the shareable resources or marketing materials. Okay, so that's how we do our market trend research. Now, going back up here, I want to point out we have our script writing tool. I already showed you the finished product of our script. But let's go in and create a script real quick. I want to show this to you because you have a few different options here. We have 3 different tones. You can choose professional, engaging, or conversational. We'll make it engaging and fun. We can choose buyers and sellers, or if we're creating a script specifically for a seller, maybe we're going on a listing appointment or we're trying to attract buyers. Then we have 3 options in terms of what we want to do with our script. Do we want to create a video script? Maybe we're looking at doing some TikTok advertisements. You've got the ability to create a video script, a social media post, or you can keep it real professional and just use the metric analysis. Great for speaking to your customers. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you how quick and easy it is to generate a social media post that's engaging. Now my audience is going to be for buyers. And again, attention San Francisco buyers. Did you know there is currently a 6.62 month supply of inventory in our city? That's a decrease. And it's going to talk about those different market trends. It's going to include hashtags. It includes some emojis. If you don't like emojis, you can back that out. You can customize any of this text. But this is our AI script writing tool exclusively for you on the RPR site to help you translate your local market trends to your buyers and your sellers or your marketing sphere of influence. Now you could easily copy and paste this entire script right on over to Facebook. Very easy. I'll do this one more time. Copy, paste, and there's my San Francisco buyer script. We'll post that guy. And this is just a quick and easy and free way to offer your social media followers some good content that's hopefully relevant to their real estate market. Okay, so let's get out of there. Remember this, whenever you want to generate a script, you must be on your market trends. So you're not going to find this create script option unless you're looking at your local market trends. Now, I found my market trends from the very home screen using my research tab, go to residential market trends, but I want to point something out to you. In the 94102, I can also access market trends from a subject property. So I'm looking at this property on the map here. I view the full details. This is a newer property that just came on the market on the 19th. Whenever I'm looking at a subject property, whether it's on market or off market, I have the ability to access my market trends right there. So when I click on that, there's my market trends again. There's my script writing tool, my share button. And just keep in mind, I can also access this entire blue bar full of resources, whether the property is listed or just off market. Okay, so that is how we analyze our market trends. That is how we create a script. Do I have any questions at this point in time? I'm going to pause, take a peek at the Q&A.
I don't see any questions that are popping up, Janelle. Sounds like you're doing a pretty good job.
All right, well, good. Okay, so I always like to begin this class, which is really one of our most popular classes, with just a quick overview of some of the resources that you have access to. Before I start our scenario searches, I also want to point out at the top of our screen, when I click on that reports tab, ignore this info to the right because this is part of the training coming soon developments. But over to the left, we've got 8 residential reports. Remember, each one of these reports is customizable and shareable. So again, you get a new listing, property flyer is what you want to create. You're just trying to stay in touch with your friends, your groups, neighborhood reports, market activity, and school reports are all outstanding social media campaign materials. And if you're going on a listing appointment, you've got a seller's report and a valuation workbook. I will pause here and tell you, in 30 years, I've never found an easier way to generate a CMA than what you see here. Our seller's report and our valuation workbook are the 2 CMA options you have access to. Now, you probably don't want to post CMAs to social media, but again, all of our reports you can share directly to social media. Okay, let's get into it. Let's go ahead and do a quick search in 94102. We're going to begin at the top of our location bar. I always like to point out to the left is the difference between residential and commercial. We could begin a brand new commercial search as well. And pretty much all of the different scenarios and steps that I'm going to walk you through today can be applicable for commercial as well as residential. Okay, so I'm going to do a basic search. I'm going to pretend I have a buyer. Scenario 1, 94102, San Francisco area. Over to the right is the ability to look for public records, properties that are for sale, properties that are for lease. I could do both, or I could just choose either or. And I'm going to look and do a quick active inventory search in 94102 for condos in that zip code. Anybody take a guess how many properties I am going to find when I type in the 94102? Well, I found 39 properties that are condos. Now, I could enter in a price filter. I could put up to maybe 1 million. Let's go up to 900. Well, maybe that's the top end of our budget. We'll add that as a criteria. And now I have 25 properties that are under 900,000. Currently active. Now, I didn't enter in beds, baths here. I just left that alone. We have a really low inventory. I also have the more filters, and this is going to play a big part in the rest of our presentation, because when we click on the more filters option, everybody with me at the top of our right screen, when I click on more filters, this is where I can apply additional filter criteria, such as square footage, lot size. I can perform a distressed status search, foreclosures, pre-foreclosures. Yes.
Real quick question that just came in. Are we able to do multiple zip codes or multiple areas when you're doing this?
No, not at this time. You can begin a search. Okay, let me say that. No, you can, but you have to be doing that from the map. So it's a great question, not from the location bar, but from the map. And I'll show you how to do that too, because we're actually going to search for neighborhoods on the map. So good question.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So we've got our square footage, lot size, distressed info. We're going to come back, circle back to all of this miscellaneous fields. This is where we're going to apply some of our predictive analytics in terms of ownership time, our absentee owner search. We can even do an ownership name search. And then over to the right, if we have a buyer, remember this is scenario 1 where we're looking for a very specific buyer and we're not finding them what they're looking for. We can apply any of these keyword searches. Pools are a real popular thing here in Florida. If you don't see one of our popular keywords here that you need, you can go ahead and enter in your own keyword to search. Now that will have to be included in the body of the listing or the public record data for it to appear, but you do have that option. Okay, so we're just gonna go to the back and look at a basic 25 properties. We'll go ahead and update and search. We found 25 properties. I'm gonna zoom out here. You can see on our map, we have some amazing map tools, and we're not gonna have time to cover all of those today. But over to the left, I'm gonna point out that you have 15 different geographical search options. So to answer that question that came in earlier, we'll do a quick demo of that. When I click on zip codes, all of these orange boundaries have started popping up, and you can see these are representing different zip codes. So if I want to begin a search in this zip code and this zip code, and we'll go to the left. Now I have 3 zip codes selected. I can search in this area. I can save this as a saved search. I'll just save it, and I'll just enter in, I'm going to go with Mark. Mark is in our class today, Rushin. So there's Mark's new save search. I save it. I know Mark is a buyer and he only wants these 3 zip codes. I've searched them, I've found them, and I've saved them. So anytime I want to do a new search for buyer Mark, just save it, enter in on the top left of the map, and I can begin a search in that area. And those are the 3 zip codes that I have found. Okay, and also keep in mind, when we use a saved area, it will always be stored for you on the top left of our map. So you can see I've created quite a few saved searches, but that's how you would go ahead and search for multiple zip codes. That's the easiest way. Okay, let's go ahead and remove this boundary. We're going to go back to our 94102. We're going to go back to our 25 properties. Condos under 900, 25 properties. A few things I want to point out here because again, we're looking for a specific buyer and we're not having any luck. So you've got 3 different views here. We've got the list view. I can see all of these beautiful properties in the nice side-by-side view. See, it's so unique in Florida, our MLS, we're not allowed to put photos that are not the front or the aerial view of a property. And you guys got lots of kitchens and family rooms, so it's kind of unique. Now we've got to the right of the grid view is our map view. I can also, again, see all of these properties on the map. I can zoom in and zoom out. And then over to the right, I have all of these different map tools, and I wish I had 3 hours to share with you today because I would dive into points of interest, traffic counts, drawing tools, and of course, our view. I will show you the view. We can change our view right to the right of our screen to our satellite view. And look at that. I can see all of this great info from the satellite. So if I'm going on a listing appointment, I always change my view to the satellite view to see what's going on in the neighborhood. Does it back up to a road? Is it a busy road? Lots of good stuff can be found using our map tools. Okay, so we're out of luck. We found 25 properties. We've shown them all. Our buyer's not impressed. We need to go off market. So let's do an off market property search for a specific buyer. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our status type. We're going to leave our zip code alone. Change our status. This is always going to be permanent here. You're always going to see for sale, for lease. I'll do a quick for lease search to see if there's anything. 4 properties for lease in the zip code. Now, instead of looking for properties for sale or for lease, I'm going to go to my public record search. I'm going to keep my property type as condos. That's what my buyer's looking for. And I'm going to go ahead and use my more filters. Remember, I've already shown the 25 on-market properties. Buyer's not thrilled. I'm going to go in and apply some predictive analytics, starting with my square footage. My buyer has told me they want at least 1,500 square feet, and they'd be happy all the way up to 2,500 square feet. So I'm in that zip code looking for 1,500 to 2,500 square feet for a buyer. And then going down, I know that most sellers are not interested in selling in the first 5 years. So we're going to go into the 10 to 15 year window, select that. We're going to go over to the right and update and search. And now I just found 18 off-market properties. So this is scenario 1. where we couldn't find a buyer, a good fit, we're going off market. Now, once we have done that search, and I did a basic search, just square footage, I have my 18 properties beautifully laid out in front of me. Over again to the right, I can look at them on the map, show these to my customer. I've got my side-by-side view. But what I really want to point out to you guys, as you can see on our screen, is our mailing labels. Remember, 2,000 mailing labels per month. So you could go through each and every one of these properties with your customers. You could select them all and go over to the right and print them. Or we could generate a mailing list. Let's click on our mailing labels and let's use the assumption that our buyer is enamored with all 18 properties. He's looking at you to try to make some deal happen. So we click on mailing labels. We'll say, oh, all of them, we'll export them. Now, this is what our mailing label layout options look like. You have 5 options. You can import that to an Excel spreadsheet, download them to a PDF, or you can kick it old school like I used to do and stick the mailing labels in the printer and print out the mailing label. And what can this do for you? What are you going to send to them? Well, maybe you send them a report. Maybe you send them a postcard using one of our Canva templates, or you just simply write them a letter saying, look, I have a buyer, really wants to be in this area. You have the square foot range he's looking for. Would you be interested in having a conversation? So you can customize. You have the ability to send them to the property address or the tax billing address, owner name and or current resident. We can change that all up. Now we had, what do we have? 25 properties, I think, and it's now down to 14. You see down at the bottom right. That is because we have defaulted our labels to exclude properties on the do not mail list. That's important. We don't want to send to folks that don't want to be bothered. We also want to exclude listed properties. So that didn't change. When I clicked exclude listed properties, the records in my export did not change. I still have 14. And I've also excluded properties with an incomplete address. I don't want to waste my time sending to addresses that are incomplete. So there you go. Let's go ahead and go with owner name. I'm going to go ahead and click print, and I'm going to just show you our finished mailing label, what it looks like. And remember at the beginning, I told you, if you go in and Google geographic farming, you're going to get pages of companies trying to sell you to do something you can absolutely do for free. All it takes you, well, it took me less than 10 minutes. So that's what our mailing labels will look like. And we're going to come back to these labels a few more times throughout the presentation. So that was our first scenario. We've got a buyer looking in the 94102 zip for a condo between 1,500 and 2,000 square feet. I was able to find them 18 properties, and I can click on any one of these properties and I can learn everything there is to know. Verifying first that this property did sell 14 years ago for 1.7, and the square footage was right in that range that I had asked for, 2315. And again, of course, I could look at market trends, I could create a CMA, and I could generate a comprehensive neighborhood report to share with my buyers. Okay, so that's scenario 1. Now let's get out of there and go into our expired, withdrawn, and canceled listings. Again, if you have a zip code you want me to demo, send it to me in the Q&A. Otherwise, I'm going to stick to 94102. And instead of our public record search under our status and type, now I'm going to go to for sale, and I'm going to go down to my withdrawn, canceled, and expired options. Now, when we're doing this, the purpose of this is to find those property owners that tried to sell, were not successful. So we could go back a whole year. We could enter in a custom date range or just go back the last 6 months. The system default is 90 days. Oh, where did my computer go? Well, oh, there it goes. Give me a little heart attack on a Thursday. Okay, let's go in and click on our magnifying glass. Guess what? I found 22 properties, expired, canceled, or withdrawn. And looks like all of these were canceled. Now let's go through the same process with our mailing labels. 22 properties, grab my mailing labels. Now, in this case, I definitely want to go ahead and send these to the property or the tax billing office. But I want you to notice, let's close this guy out. We started with 22 properties. When I went to my mailing labels, very easy to get to, I ended up with 21 properties. When I exclude listed properties down here on the screen, I lost a few. I'm down to 16. That's okay. It gives me great data. I have 16 property owners that have recently tried to sell but did not sell. So why not choose you? Go ahead and impress them with some of the reports that you have access to and get that listing. Again, you're going to always see the layout at the top, your customization options. You could go the next mile and enter in a custom name specifically if you'd like. And then all you have to do is click on print. And again, we've got our mailing labels. So that was our expired, canceled, withdrawn. Before we move on, any more questions? I've got about 8 minutes left, so let me know. Pretty easy to do an expired, withdrawn, and canceled listing. Okay, the next one I'm going to do is our very basic geographic farm list. Now we're going to go into our home page, and I'm going to go to our map. We're going to go to our research tab, do a map search. I'm going to stick with my 94102. You guys aren't giving me a different one, so I'm going to play with that. We are now going to create a very basic geographic farm list using our map. So we can, on our map, first off, I could click on my show geographies and I could enter in big neighborhoods. I could enter in minor neighborhoods, smaller neighborhoods. I have cities and zip codes. Okay, Lisa's got a good one, 94123. Thank you, Lisa. Let's try that, 94123. Now this is brand new, so I'm not sure what I'm going to find with our public records, but let's try that one. Okay, so in 94123, we are not looking for on-market properties. We are looking for our public records database. So when we switched gears to the 94123 zip code, looking to build a geographic farm list, we'll leave our property type alone, condos and single families. We are going to go over to our more filters. Now look, I have 2,386 properties in that zip. That's way too many for a farm list, in my opinion, unless you're just super, super wealthy and have the ability to mail to 2,300 homeowners a month. But we could go ahead and refine that. Remember, our popular square foot range was about 1,876. We could go 1,750 to maybe 2,500 square footage, and then we could scroll down and then add that ownership time again, 10 to 15 years. Now let's find out. Now look, I found 43 properties in that zip code that are condos and townhouses that have 1,750 to 2,500 square feet. Now, if I'm happy with 43, I could have at it, or I could add single families to that. And then I've got 77 properties, all within that square foot range, and all have that 10 to 15 year ownership time. Okay, so then all I do is update and search. Now I've got 77 properties. I'm not sure why we picked up, well, I guess because we changed our property type. So again, we've got our 77 properties here on our map. Now maybe 77 isn't what I'm looking for. Maybe I just want to grab a smaller cluster of properties. Maybe I grab these properties down here close to the water. I could use my drawing tool, grab my freehand, and I could just say, okay, you know what? I just want to mark it. This is my geographic farm list right there. So from here, I could begin a search in this area. And I found 25 properties. These are some high dollar homes. So you can use these map tools. You can use your geographical tools. Just keep in mind, once you have created your search, you can click in here. You can save this so you don't have to redo it every single time you log in. You have the saved area, which will appear at the top left. And then, of course, we have our mailing label options. Click on mailing labels one more time. You're going to see the same screen. In this case, we're looking to build a geographic farm list. So yeah, we definitely want to exclude listed properties, exclude properties on the do not mail list, incomplete addresses, and I ended up with 19 properties. Super easy to create a geographic farm list. You just have to get in there and practice with the map. Let me remove this boundary and show you something else that's real cool. When we are looking at our geographical searches, and maybe I pick a minor neighborhood, watch what happens to my map as I say minor neighborhoods. You're going to start to see these orange boundaries start to pop up. Let's try, we'll go macro neighborhoods and see what we got. Okay, there we go. Lots and lots of big boundaries that you can see. These are large neighborhoods in that San Francisco area. So you could pull up, let me zoom out a little bit and probably hurting your eyes. You could zoom in, you could zoom out, you could add macro neighborhoods. And again, you're searching in the public records database. So you've got zip codes, opportunity zones. If you don't know what an opportunity zones are, those are areas that the federal government has said, if you invest, you might qualify for some financial assistance. Okay, so let's zoom back into our beautiful San Francisco market. There were no opportunity zones available there. And now we're going to come back home and go to our absentee owner search. Any questions about the geographic farm list? I want to show one more thing because I did this earlier in prep and I thought this was kind of cool. When I go back to my 94102 and I'm looking at the public records database, and I click on my geographies, when I clicked on my, let's see, was it minor neighborhoods? I think it was minor neighborhoods. Yeah, I was able to find all of these different neighborhoods. Each and every one of these represents a different small neighborhood. And you could go in, maybe you want to look at Alamo Square, I'm not sure. When I select this Alamo Square area, I can search in this area. I can view the market trends. I can create a market activity report, or I can perform that same public record search that I just showed you a little bit earlier in terms of off-market properties. So play around with your map. Lots and lots of great map tools for you to use in terms of prospecting. Okay, we're going to finish strong with our absentee owner search. So let's see, what was that zip code she just gave me? 94123, I think it was. We'll go back to 94123. And now we're going to do a public record search. Let me get rid of this near because I want to remove that boundary. Give me just a second. Okay, so now we're going to go in and do an absentee owner search. We've got 3,800 properties in that 94123 zip code that are either single family or condos. I'm going to get rid of my single family. I'm going to go over to my more filters. Again, this more filters is your friend. Okay, that is really where you're going to get to refine your search and use those predictive analytics. So we've got 2,386 properties in there. We can go in and let's say we want to reach condo owner or absentee owners that own a condo that's smaller than 1,250 square feet. We just simply go down to miscellaneous fields, select absentee owner. And why did I pick such a small square footage? Because those folks are tired of renting and living in a very small area. We can do 1,000 square feet. Now I found 303 properties in that zip code that are condos that are 1,000 square feet or less, and that they are owned by an absentee owner. So again, we update and search. I found my 303 properties. I've got my mailing label option. I have all of my map tools. So if I don't want to reach out to all 303, I could refine my map. But most importantly, folks, when we get to our mailing labels, don't forget that this is an absentee owner search. So we do not want to mail to the property. We want to mail to the tax billing office if we're looking for a listing, to the subject property if we're looking to try to reach out to a tenant. So it depends on what you're trying to accomplish. For us today, we're looking for tenants. So we're going to send it to the property, but we're not going to send it to the owner name. We're going to go to current residents, whoever's living in it, and then we're going to go ahead and hit print. I don't even need to exclude listed properties here because I'm not reaching out to a seller to try to get them to list with me. I'm reaching out to a tenant trying to get them to buy with me. And I ended up with 273 absentee owner properties. Okay, guys, I think we're at the top of the hour. Are there questions that I can answer live? Let me know. I'm happy to stay on. We covered a lot. I only got you for an hour. So let me just recap what we did. We did our market trends. We analyzed market trends. We talked about all of the resources you can share. And then we went off market using our public record search for residential. And we went off market. We looked for absentee owners, for tenants. We looked for a geographic farm list, and we looked for a specific buyer. Let's see, with absentee owners, can we know how long they've lived there? Yeah, you know what? That's a good one. Let's go back. I'm going to show that. We can apply the same predictive analytics. So 941. Now, I can't tell you how long the tenants have lived there. I can say how long the property has been owned, but I don't have access to tenant occupancy dates. But we could go in and apply our more filters and figure out under 1,000 square feet, absentee owners. Maybe these absentee owners have lived or owned 15 to 20 years. We update and search, and we found 24 properties. And let's see, one other question about the CSV file. Yes, you sure can. You can pull these addresses out using your mailing label options. Just click on your CSV there, and we'll export. It'll export all of the address information that we have. Okay, let's see. Lisa had a question. Give me a second to read that here. Instead of the mailing list, can you run a report to get more details on who the owner is and how long they've owned it and what they paid? Ooh, that's a good question. All right, let's do it. So let's just pick a random property. 882 is the value of this off-market property in condo owned by Adam and Lynn. When I click on this property, you'll notice it is off market. I have so much info here. If I'm getting ready to go on a listing appointment at 400 Avila Street, I have, again, my market trends, but I've got the closed price. It sold back in 04. 1 bath, 496 square feet. But I've got all of the ownership info. Not only do I have the public records data, I've got the map to the right. I can look at the property on the map. I can look at the entire neighborhood. I've got additional resources, climate check, valuate for investment potential, legal description, school data. And now we get to the good stuff, ownership facts. Adam and Lynn have owned this property 20 years. This is where they live. They live and I don't even know how to say Cupertino. And this is the listing history, public record history. Some parts of the country, some of this data is not disclosed, but it appears in your area. We have deed, mortgage, tax data, literally everything you could possibly need in terms of getting prepared to list this property, or if you're working with a buyer, get them ready to make an offer. Sales and financing activity. And look at this one here. It looks like they tried to sell this in 2019 for 210. Don't know really what's going on there. And then you've got the estimated value going all the way back to 2006. All right, so that's how you access. From any subject property, you have an abundance of info, market trends, CMA, neighborhood information. If I want to learn everything there is to know about this property's neighborhood, I can see the housing stats, the people. Look at this, folks, 75% in 94123 rent. Maybe that's why she said that's a better zip code. 75% rent. This is a great area to do an absentee owner search. The people, what are the age range of folks, the economy, the quality of life. You're getting a lot of snow up there. No, you're not. And 165 days of full sun. Lots and lots of info here. And anytime you want to generate a report, go to the top right. You'll see your create report button. And from there, you can go ahead and run your report. You can upload your own pages. You can personalize this report. And then, of course, you want to run the report at the bottom. Now, when we run our report, it'll take about a minute to generate. I just want to point out that with any of our reports, you have options. You can post to social media, download it, share it with your customers. That is what our neighborhood report looks like. Okay, I took a little bit longer. Are there any other questions before I wrap up? Don't be shy. Let me know. I promised earlier I would show the QR code. So I want to do that real quick. I want to take you back to my PowerPoint, let you know that this is the QR code for our mobile app. If you are looking, and I know you're always on the road, you want to search for properties on market or off market, market trends, social media marketing, grab the QR code. There is so many resources. And when you're showing properties to a buyer, and they're asking you about the schools and the neighborhood or the traffic counts, you can answer all of those questions from the mobile app. And I will tell you, we offer 2 national webinars on the mobile app. So if you're interested, grab the QR code and join me. And this is kind of what the mobile app will look like. All right, you guys have been amazing. I think I'm ready to wrap it up. Unless there are any other questions, can you think of anything I can answer for you? Make sure you have your profile set up. I want to point out one more thing at the top of our home screen. The help desk is open 24/7 for you. If you have questions, you can call, live chat, email, or you can click on learn. And this is going to take you, I know you're wondering about those Canva templates. This is where you would access your Canva templates. Go to your Learn tab, go to Canva templates, and it's going to take you to our Learning Center. And from there, take a look at all of these Canva templates that you have access to. They're customizable. They're aligned with your market trends. You can change the color. You can change the photos. You also have templates for your open houses. You have templates for your resume. Marketing plan, pre-listing checklist, all this great stuff is here for you guys. And as you watched me throughout today's presentation, we did not see one ad. Nothing was grayed out. So get on the platform. I feel like it's one of the most profound real estate resources available to realtors nationwide. So get out there and use it. And please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm going to type my name in the chat. Hopefully you guys can see that. All right. I think that just went to the host and panelists, but if you want to send that to everybody, you can go ahead and send that. You feel free to reach out to me again. My name is Janelle. Any questions?
I think we're good to go, Janelle. Thank you so much. This was really, really helpful.
Okay, I know it's a lot of information in a 1-hour segment, but if you go to the learning page, previously recorded classes are available for you. So just go to the Learn page, go to the Learning tab, where is my webinars? All of these topics have additional resources, ebooks, printables, webinars by date are free to join. If you can't make it live, you can watch them on demand. So lots and lots of great classes for you guys. And I hope you enjoyed today's presentation, and hopefully I will see you again soon. Thanks for having me, everybody.
Of course. Thank you.
Bye.